Hi students, today we are discussing about magnetic field lines. Okay, what are the magnetic field lines? These are the imaginary lines drawn in a region of magnetic field along which a free unit north pole would tend to move. What is this? These are the imaginary lines. So they do not exist in nature. But to visualize the magnetic field around a bar magnet or around any current carrying conductor, this is required. Okay, these magnetic field lines are explained by the Faraday. Okay, in this we always tells about how a unit north pole will move in the region of the magnetic field. Clear? In the previous section, we discussed that magnetic poles are always exist in pairs. Individual poles is not exist. Okay, but here what I considered just an imaginary lines now. So imaginary lines is drawn with unit north pole. Okay, let us see how these magnetic field lines are present for a bar magnet. So I considered a bar magnet. We know the bar magnet has two poles. One is north pole, another one is the south pole. Okay, here the magnetic field lines outside came from the north to south, north to south. So from north to south everywhere, and inside the magnet it is always from south to north. So how these magnetic field lines are visualized? Outside the magnet from north to south, and inside the magnet from south to north. Okay, in this way around a bar magnet magnetic field will be imagined like this. Understand? Now we would like to know about some characteristics of or properties of magnetic field lines. The first one is magnetic field lines are forms closed loops. Okay, it's very important. Why they form the closed loop? Now only we said outside it's from north to south, inside from south to north. So there is no beginning point and ending point for the magnetic field lines. They are always a closed loops. Okay, but in case of electricity, we learn about the electric field lines. In case of electric field lines, what we discuss, the electric field lines starts from the positive charge and ends at the negative charge. This is the direction of the magnetic field line, sorry, electric field lines in electricity. So starts from positive and set negative. Clear now? So these are called as open loops, open curves. Here these are called as closed loops. This is the one of the major difference between the electric field lines and magnetic field lines. Okay, and the second point, on the magnetic field line, at any point, if you want the direction of magnetic field, just draw one tangent at that place. Anywhere. If you want at this place, then draw a tangent at that point. If you want here, draw one tangent at this place. So, tangent drawn at any point in field line gives direction of magnetic field. Okay, at that point. Gives direction of magnetic field at that particular point. Okay, and see the diagram properly. At some places, the magnetic field lines are crowded themselves now. Okay, they are very close to each other. Whenever the magnetic field lines are crowded themselves, at that point the magnetic field is always strong. Okay, so what is the third characteristic? When field lines are closer, their magnetic field is strong. For example, in objective, the question will be asking like this. They took one diagram, on that they consider 2 points, one is x and another one is y. What is the value of the magnetic field at x and y? Where the magnetic field is strong, where the magnetic field is weak. See here all the lines are close to each other now. So at this point of x, magnetic field is more compared with the point y. Because at point y, see, the magnetic field lines are move apart. So here field is less, here field is more. Understand? Next, the fourth one is magnetic field lines are do not intersect each other. Magnetic field lines are do not intersect each other. Okay, sir, if they intersect, what happens? Yes, suppose this is one of the magnetic field line, it is another magnetic field line. If they intersect, so at point of intersection, check it, at point of intersection, that means here now, here the B bar has two directions. Vector always having only one direction, but at the point of intersection it has two directions now. Is it possible? Not possible. That's why the magnetic field lines do not intersect each other. Understand? These are the characteristics of the magnetic field lines. So very important, four properties. What is the first one? Magnetic field lines always forms closed loops, no beginning and ending points, and outside north to south, inside south to north. And second point, the tangent drawn at any point gives the direction of magnetic field. Third point, when magnetic field lines are closer, there the magnetic field is always more. And fourth point, the magnetic field lines are do not intersect each other. Okay, if they intersect at the point of intersection, it has two directions, which is not possible. Understand now? Now, the second point we learn from this magnetic field lines is what is the major difference between magnetic field lines and electric field lines. What we said? Magnetic field lines are the closed loops and electric field lines are the open curves. Second point, monopoles do not exist in the magnetic field, but mono means isolated positive charge or isolated negative charge is appear in the electric field. Understand? This is about the magnetic field lines. Let us see, for horseshoe magnet, the magnetic field lines are visualized like this. Everywhere, lines of forces outside from south to north. Everywhere from north to south only outside is available. Everything is the closed one. Okay, don't think these are written like this. These are also closed. Everywhere is closed. Understand? Outside from north to south, everywhere north to south will be appear the magnetic field lines. Okay, the magnetic field lines not only present in the magnetism concepts, it is also available in the current carrying conductors also. If the current is passing through any straight conductor, then around the current carrying conductor, the magnetic field lines are appear in the form of concentric circles. Okay, if suppose if you take this is a current carrying conductor, okay, current is passing along upward direction, okay, then the magnetic field is always in the form of concentric circles. If you want direction at any point, please use right hand thumb rule. According to right hand thumb rule, thumb indicates the direction of current and curling of fingers indicates the direction of the magnetic field. So if the current is passes like this, so the magnetic field here into the plane of the paper, here out of the plane of the paper, like this. Okay, so if you current is sent like this, magnetic field is formed in the concentric circles. If you saw this diagram in this way, then the current is out of the plane of the paper, that indicates this is the direction of current. Okay, it is out of the plane of the paper, it is appears as a single dot. Now around this current carrying conductor, the magnetic field will be in the form of concentric circles. So here the magnetic field will be appear in the form of concentric circles. So if you want direction of magnetic field anywhere, so it is the direction of current now. So right hand thumb rule, thumb indicates the direction of current. So the magnetic field will be appear in this way. That indicates so magnetic field in this direction. Understand? So anywhere if you want magnetic field direction, just make a tangent at that place. You got the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Now let us take one circular loop. I consider one circular loop. A wire is bent in the form of a circle and some current is passes through it. Then every current carrying conductor produces the magnetic field. So here the magnetic field will be appears in this way. I just wrote at 2 points, this point and this point. Here the magnetic field will be appear in this way. Everywhere concentric circles will be formed. Okay, if you consider one solenoid, solenoid is nothing but a combination of number of circular loops. So this type of circular loops are combined to form like this. So this is called one solenoid. Okay, so if you send some current through this solenoidal, then around the solenoidal there is a magnetic field will be exist. Okay, this is the magnetic field directions. Understand? This is similar to the bar magnet na. Check from north to south, north to south. So it is like a bar magnet. So the magnetic field which produced by the solenoid is behaves like a bar magnet. Always keep in mind. Okay, these are the some magnetic field lines produced by the different types of the conductors. Here it is produced by the horseshoe magnet. Here due to the straight current carrying conductor, it is also same, but view is different. This is for circular loop and this is for solenoid. Understand? So this is magnetic field lines concept. Now Coulomb's inverse square law in magnetism. We are discussing previously in electrostatics about the Coulomb's inverse square law in between the two stationary charges. Okay, now what is the Coulomb's inverse square law? Now we are discussing about Coulomb's inverse square law in magnetism. Okay, we discussed the Coulomb's inverse square law in electrostatics also. There we discussed that there is a force of attraction or repulsion between the two stationary charges. In the first class of magnetism we said the charges in electricity are analogous to the pole strengths in magnetism. So let us consider two poles having the pole strengths m1 and m2 and they are separated by a distance called d. Then these two poles, if suppose like poles, that indicates if suppose this is the north and it is also north, like poles are repel each other na, or if it is south and it is north, then unlike poles are attract each other na. So the force of attraction or repulsion between the two poles is said by the Coulomb's law. So the force of attraction or repulsion between the two poles here directly proportional to the product of magnitudes of the two pole strengths and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two poles. Okay, what is Coulomb's inverse square law? Force of attraction or repulsion between the two poles directly proportional to the product of pole strengths and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And force is always a vector. Vector means it requires direction. So the direction is always along the line joining of the two poles. That indicates if suppose this south pole and north pole, then we know unlike poles attract each other na. So that attractive force always along the line joining of those two poles. Similarly, if you take it as a north pole and this is north pole, repel each other, that repulsion is always along the line joining of those two poles. Clear? Now, from these two equations, let us write F proportional to m1 m2 by d square now. Therefore, F is equal to some proportionality constant k into m1 m2 by d square. Here k is called proportionality constant and its value is mu naught by 4 pi. Okay, here what is mu naught? Mu naught is called as permeability of free space. This word is very important. Keep in mind the value of mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Newton per ampere square. What is the value? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Sir, here the new word coming, permeability. What is permeability, sir? Permeability is nothing but permeability. Permeability is says how is magnetic field lines passes through a medium. Permeability measures how is the magnetic field lines passes through a medium. So it is the property of the medium only. So here what is a medium I take? Free space. If suppose if you take any medium, that means these two poles are placed in any medium. Here some medium is there. Then the formula will be changes like F is equal to mu by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. Here mu not for free space or here. Here mu is for medium. So mu here called as absolute permeability of medium. Okay. We know the formula for relative permeability indicated by mu r. Relative permeability is defined as absolute permeability of the medium by permeability of the free space. It is just a ratio now. That's why it does not have any units and dimensions. From this, what is mu? Mu becomes, this mu naught will be taken this side, mu r into mu naught. So instead of mu, in this equation, substitute mu r mu naught, then F becomes mu r mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. So this formula you may use in any medium. Understand? This formula used when in the free space. Here k is nothing but mu naught by 4 pi if you substitute. Then in the free space this formula is applicable. In any medium this formula is applicable. Okay. So for free space mu r value is 1. Okay. Mu r here relative permeability. Like relative permittivity na. In the electricity we have the relative permittivity. Here you have relative permeability. Understand? So do you have any relation between the force in a medium and force in free space? Yes. Instead of mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square, can you write force in a medium is equal to mu r into force in the free space or air. Mu r value is always greater than 1. That means in medium the force is always more comparable with the force in the medium. Understand? This is about Coulomb's inverse square law. Okay? Just 1 minute. It is defined as the force of attraction or repulsion between the two poles directly proportional to the product of their pole strengths and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. In free space, F naught is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. In a medium, F is equal to mu r mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by d square. What is the permeability? Permeability is nothing but it is measure of how is the magnetic field lines passes through a medium. Understand? Here the most important one, the value of the mu naught. The value of the mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Newton per ampere square. Okay? Note it down. Thank you.